Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Surviving Earth. This is my next in my series of space engineers, and as mentioned in the previous episode, my goal today is to go ahead and build this garage. Now, you'll notice I had started out with a big pad over here, and I did cut out some spaces over here, so that way you can see some of the pieces that I buried. So over here I have I can actually just show it to you pretty easily here. You can see I have a conveyor line that is going all the way back to my little habitat. And then as soon as I put that back in, I will then be able to go ahead and have that conveyor spread throughout this building. That being said, there are a few things that I want to do. The first thing is, even though I am not looking for this garage to be airtight, I do want to go ahead and be able to have it seal up while I'm inside it and protect me from the elements. So if I was on Mars or someplace like that, I would be worried about pressurizing, depressurizing, all that fun stuff. But here I just want it to be able to go ahead and when I enter the building, I want, or when I close all the doors, I want it to be able to keep the weather off me, and most importantly, keep those wolves away from me, because they've been kind of annoying me. All right, so all that being said, let's go ahead and start building. So the first thing that I want to do is I do want to go ahead and grab that T junction that I deleted and put that back down over here. And why is it not letting me place it? Oh, I see. Now I have to delete all of this because that was on a separate grid. All right. Well, fun stuff. Anyways, so now I will go ahead and take this opportunity to put all of this back. All right. So what I want to do is I do want to go ahead and have something right underneath the main entrance. Just and I specifically I want to be able to put a cargo container right there, just for easy access. So let's go ahead and right here I want to add that. And then I'm going to go ahead and place a straight. Actually, no. I'm going to do something else. I will show you in just a minute. So let's go ahead and place those straights over here instead. And I also want to delete that piece. Alright, so now let me go ahead and put my corner in. Pair of straights. And then over here I want another corner. There we go. Alright, so now that I've got all that in place, the next thing that I want to do is go ahead and put in a bunch of floor blocks. And there we go. Now, you will notice that I have a little gap right here for both of these. And let me go ahead and just kind of dig this down just a smidge. There we go. There we go. So, I want to be able to ventilate this place, but I also don't really want to see the vents. So, how am I going to do that? Well, I can go ahead, and as soon as I find which tab I put my vents under, if I grab the air vent full, I can place the air vent in the floor right here. Just like so. And come on in here to grab the pieces I'm missing. And the full air vent is both providing the air right there. Let me go ahead actually and break that really quick. And then, in addition to providing the air access though, it's also fully conveyored. So this means that I can now go ahead and put, say, a cargo container on top, or over here what I'd like to do is I'd like to place a hinge, so that way I can go ahead and adjust the height of my connections. But then I can come on over here to my favorite Willis ducts, and if I grab a Willis duct 2 and angle it like this, this will now go ahead and provide that air access into the main building. And then I can also come on over here and grab this cargo terminal. I actually want to change the color. There we go. All right. And now I just need to come back in to grab my components. And finish building. There we go. So now I have cargo terminal access right here. And of note, outside I will also be able to walk up and have cargo terminal access from behind, but it's not really visible. And I am planning to go ahead and extend my walls over here. And because I have this, I now have air vents, 2 of them in here. I don't have any air vent intakes at the moment. However, it is still using the air vent intake from that building. But if you were trying to go ahead and have this be a fully sealed area, you could definitely go ahead and hook up like a O2 bottle or something along those lines. Alright, and now I need to eat some food. And from here now, I want to go ahead and grab a whole bunch of steel plates. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put my walls down so that way the puppies stop annoying me. Alright, so along this wall, I want to go ahead and have the full brick. There we go. And then over here, I want to go ahead and shift it to a half armor slope. Or a half armor light block. And there we go. And then I want to push that back out to a full brick width right here. All right, so now that that's all in place, let's just go ahead and weld up that as much as we can. Stay up nice and high so that way the puppies don't give me an unpleasant surprise. All right, and then over here, just turn my lights on just to be sure. I'm going to go ahead and put another light armor block. All right, so if you remember from last time, I didn't really count it out for you this time, but this pad is a 9x9 pad, and I've got a little slope right over here to allow easy access in and out. Um, when I was looking at what kind of door I wanted, there's a couple options that come out. The first one is going to be this gate here. So this is 5 blocks wide and 2 blocks tall. And for the most part, if you're using small grid rovers, this is actually a great option. However, when I was looking at this, I decided I did not want to go with this gate because this gate um, is limited to 2 blocks high, and one of the things that I want to be able to build is going to be some sort of excavator that has an arm sticking up. Trying to get one of those to fit through this gate sounded like more of a challenge than I really felt like I was up for. Um, Other than that, there's the small gate tall or small gate wide, which is 2 blocks wide and only 1 block tall, which you can go ahead and get some of the small grid rovers through that. However, it's I think better for like using it as like entry for individual people or maybe like small buggies. However, when we come on over here, we can find these airtight hangar doors. Or if you bought the Warfare update, or DLC, there's the Warfare hangar doors. I decided that these are what I wanted to work with. So what I can do here is I can take, so when you look at this, this is 1 brick wide and 3 bricks tall, and those 2 bricks on the bottom, as you're looking at it right here, retract into that 1 brick. This means that if I go ahead and I put it right here, and put this one right here, that this will now go ahead and form a door that is 4 blocks wide. Let me actually do this. All right. There we go. And now I can just pop on over here. And there we go. So this is an airtight door. So once it is closed, it will be fully airtight. And I chose to use the version that had the little windows in the middle just because, you know, I figured that it looked cool. Um, but if you did not buy that particular DLC, you could very easily just use the normal airtight hangar doors. And as we can see, the sun is setting, so I'm going to have to start worrying about how I'm getting light in here. But that will be a problem for later. Alright, so this is going to be the base shell for my garage. Now, I've got 4 wide there, and then to make room for the excavator arm, I'm going to go ahead and have that be 3 tall. And let's go ahead. And oh, I need steel plates. Okay, that's what's going on. So let's go ahead and add another windowed one right there, and then a non-windowed one for the top. And then there we go.
Energy low.
All right, so this now will be my door. I do need to have a button or a sensor or something that opens it because there are no buttons on them that open them automatically. Um, Let me go ahead and refill my suit's energy, and then we will finish putting the shell around the building. No, not this. I need this. And to remember which button to press. That usually helps. There we go. All right. Now that I'm all recharged, let's come over and look at this. So the first thing that I see is I want to go ahead and I don't want this sharp corner like this. So let's go ahead and cut this out. And then grab my green again. Yeah, let's go with this. Oh, come on. There we go. And I'm just adding a whole bunch of steel plates to my inventory. There we go. All right. And now that that's done, let's come on over to this side. And we will repeat that process. All right. And then as you can see here, we have gone ahead and done this. And then I'm going to try and have it kind of be flat on top of that door. So let's go ahead and see. Nope, that's not going to do it. Um, there we go. No, that's going to be too low. Never mind. Turn inertial dampeners off. So rather than thinking about this too hard, let's just go ahead and finish putting up this wall. And right now I am just going to go ahead and start out by putting up solid walls. However, it is very likely that I am going to swap some of these out later for some windows. For right now, I'm just trying to get the shape up. All right. All right. Eat some food. And then right here, because I want this to be able to fully seal, I'm going to go ahead and place a door. And here I'm going to go ahead and grab this sliding door. There we go. Opens and closes just fine. And then let us also go ahead put a catwalk in, and then go ahead and grab some stairs down. And I will probably come back in and repaint those some other color later, but for right now, green is good enough. Alright, so that gets me up to this level. The next thing that I want to do then is I want to go ahead and cover this here. So let's go ahead and start with this. Yeah, that looks good. And that would mean that I'm going to... But if I do that, I have to have this light armor slope here. No, that's not really what I want. Let's go ahead and fiddle with things a little bit, because what I want to do is I want to go ahead and stick this across the top. Yeah. Grabbed a whole bunch of steel plates. Alright, and now I just need to figure out which of these blocks has what I am looking for. Nope. It's probably the... And looks like there is not a block that does the shape that I want. Well, that's irritating. Nope, this one doesn't do it. But I could do a half block here. If I did a half block here, I can do the transition tip. But that's gonna still lead to something that I don't really like the look of. Okay. Huh. Interesting. Alright, well, I guess I will just deal with it then. We'll have a bit sharper of a turn up front. right. So that's going to be then the front as we fly into this. Or drive up to it. Whichever the case may be. Alright. So, that being done, let's come now to this portion. And I want to have a line of these blocks here. Which means that right here, I want blocks like this. And let's see if there's a block that fits in there. Almost. Nope. This is probably the closest, but it doesn't do what I want it to do. However, if I were to do this one... No. What if I went ahead and did this and then continued the transition here? Doesn't work exactly how I want it to, but I think that's as close as I'm going to get. Alright, well let's go ahead and put these up.
Energy low.
There we go. And now I need to find the piece that does not that exact corner piece. So let's go ahead. Just like that. Perfect. All right. If I wanted just a kind of square box, this would be a lot easier to do. It's primarily that trying to get some sort of other shape that then causes issues. Now let me go and recharge my energy again. And then I also need to eat some more food and probably refill my or hydrogen tanks. Alright, so let's come down here. Hydrogen tank, there we go, perfect. And then I will eat some food. Oh, and I have a spare one of these things, so throw that in there. Alright, there we go. Oh, and I didn't check which variant that was on, so that does not do what I want it to do. So try again from the top. And I also need to pop down here and grab a whole bunch more steel plates. Alrighty. And now when I come on over here, there we go. Not gonna be a way to make that do what I want. So, yep. And as you guys can probably hear, the puppies have returned. And that is, again, why I want to have a nice, at a minimum, walled enclosure to go ahead and do any building and designing. So the big question here is I could go ahead and change this corner out for, basically just take that exact same corner and rotate it. But that's then going to go ahead and mean that I need to change those out. Is that worth it? Well, let's see here. Uh, I did that. I could then try and do a better transition there. Um, let's try this one. Anything I want to have that transition mirrored. Let's see here. Ooh, is this one almost does what I want it to do? I think this one actually is closest to what I want it to do. Yeah. There we go. Fiddling with pieces enough eventually got me more or less where I wanted to be. There we go. And then that also gives me a little bit of a shape there. And then some noisy dogs. Make them go away. Another one over here. Whatever. Alright. Then up here, what I will do is go ahead and stick this corner in here. And then we will actually go ahead and cover the whole top with the full-size light armor blocks. And we'll do that because one of the things I'm planning on doing up here is this is kind of be where my landing pad is going to be. So being able to conveyor this area up would be useful. And you can't do that with half armor blocks. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and just weld all this up really quick. And then we will come back afterwards to go ahead and see if there's any different designing or patterning that we could do. Oh, hello. We'll go ahead and take your meat. And yours too. And then we will come back on out. And then go back and get a whole lot more light armor blocks. Alright, and then let's wrap things up by coming on over here. There we go. And now, if you notice right now it says it's high O2 but cold out. If I come in here and close the door, warm. Alright, so this is now a fully sealed space. So from here, now protected from the elements, I have got my cargo access. I'll go ahead and put my hinge in here, and that I think is going to be a great start to this. I do need to go ahead and add some lighting in here. As close to the middle as I can get. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and call this episode here. Got to put together the outer shell of the hangar. And in the next one, I will go ahead and um, put together my connection points, add some lighting, and add some other decorations for this. So if you watch all the way to the end, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day.